Unlocking marital bliss.
We just concluded celebrating Father's Day, and many people are so excited. Many received a lot of wishes, including myself. Many were so excited, but above all, there's a bunch of people that didn't receive anything at all, and they're whining. Many of them are sulking, many of them are crying, many of them are downcast in self-pity and feel like they never recognized me. They never thought about me. And others are like, what is Father's Day anyway? They don't have a clue of what's going on. But tonight we want to find out, is it worth celebrating Father's Day? Is it worth? We want to discover from your own opinions. Is it worth celebrating Father's Day? Is it worth? And who is a father, by the way? I want to hear from you, and then we'll take it from there within a minute.
Unlocking marital bliss.
So everyone would think a father is someone who gives birth to a kid. But to me, I think a father is that person who, apart from giving birth to a kid, goes ahead to take care of this kid.
Father is a person who takes responsibility for his or his family, and obviously caters and cares for them and sees to their well-being.
True father is that stays with his husband, his wife and his children and provides for them fully.
What makes a man or differentiates a boy from a man is responsibility. So I call upon my fellow men to come up, take responsibility for the children we've sired.
They're not performing their roles as fathers.
This system of whereby women also now these days work and men work, there is a competition that you are also working. You pay for school fees for your children, or you buy food at home, you pay for their rent. But before a man could take his responsibility, because he could see the woman, the wife stays at home, he comes back, he finds the woman at home.
I can choose to pay school fees and I tell my wife, you have some money, pay for the tour, and we agree. Not that it, without any complaints.
You don't go out to father children when you don't want to take responsibility, because the world obviously has changed over time, and it is important that when planning a family, make sure you are ready for what comes with the family, rather than just going and producing and letting the children suffer without having a father figure.
It's the women's mistake also, because we go on telling our children that your father has not paid this. So it makes the children not to do what? To love their father. So if you are the breadwinner at home, at least don't say it around your children that I'm the breadwinner. It doesn't make any sense. Yes, that belittling your husband. It is somewhere, somehow affecting our men.
A responsibility is not a choice. To me, I think it shouldn't be a choice that you have given birth to a kid and you decide not to take. No. The moment you give birth to this kid, it's your burden that you need to carry.
Paying bills is something we call, it's an additional role, but even minding about your children's health, minding about how they have been brought up is also something, a big role that has been left out. So being a father means you protect them, you provide them, and then guide them.
Unlocking marital bliss.
We'll be back. It's such a pleasure to hear your opinion. I mean, this is quite amazing, the way you literally come out to talk about fatherhood. Is it worth celebrating? Is it worth celebrating? And why I may not recognize I have heard your opinions. And tonight I'm running a monologue and we're going to discover realities over here. Yes, you have said it. I've heard it from you. And I'm going to deal with how you responded. Yes, we heard those that believed, well, never did anything in my life, so ain't worth celebrating. Okay. Then, well, it's a feminist thing. That's why fathers are not recognized, because them women are coming after us. Are women really coming after you? Are women really coming after you? So now you're complaining that, oh yeah, it can't happen because they never realize who we are. These feminists are destroying us. What are they doing? Okay, feminists are destroying you and you're wondering what they are doing. And that is why you fail to be a father, because feminists are destroying you. Wow. I want to find out exactly who a father is. And let me bring this to your understanding. Who is a father? You got to embrace this. Many of you have given me your own opinions and you've brought it out. And this is what you're saying. But I want to give you something that will really change your life. Who is a father? A father, if you're going to define fatherhood, you don't go to culture. If you're going to define fatherhood, you don't go to culture, to tradition, to legislation. You don't go to anything that we're used to in our society. No. If you're going to define fatherhood, you go to the origin of fatherhood. Who's the first father? Where does fatherhood begin from? If you don't understand the origin of fatherhood, then you won't be able to define exactly who a father is. But this is what I want to bring to you. Okay? When you understand the origin of fatherhood, you'll be able to understand who a father is as a human being. The origin of fatherhood is God Almighty. That's the origin of fatherhood. Okay? Father is coming from God. And what does it mean? What does fatherhood mean? I want you to understand something. When you talk about fatherhood, the origin is Father God, but the meaning is this. Fatherhood means someone that is able to bring forth and then sustains whatever they bring forth. Yes, you produce and then you sustain whatever you produce. You don't just produce. Now, a lot of you believe fatherhood is just about popping out babies. No, you bring forth, and the moment you bring forth, you're able to sustain whatever you bring forth. How do you sustain whatever you bring forth? This is how you sustain whatever you bring forth. Number one, a father is supposed to literally be able to provide, be able to protect, and be able to guide. Provide, protect, and guide. That is it. Because you're going to sustain. How are you going to sustain? You got to be able to provide to nourish whatever you've brought forth. And then you're going to be able to protect whatever you're nourishing. And then you're going to be able to guide what direction, what's the destiny. And as you guide, you're literally giving an identity to what you have brought forth. My question comes in. Do you fit in that description of a father? Do you fit in that description of a father? When you examine yourself, do you fit in that description of a father? One who is able to provide, one who's able to protect, one who's able to guide and reveal identity or give identity. That's why when you find what we call the DNA, you don't check with the mothers to find the DNA, whose child you belong to. You check with the fathers. You check with the male. And male is supposed to bring forth. So you are the origin. When you are the origin, you are the provider. You are responsible for taking care of what you have brought forth. That is fatherhood. Yeah, we're just defining who a father is. Are you able to bring forth, take care of what you've brought forth? How do you do that? Sustain what you've brought forth. How do you do that? You do that by simply, I repeat, simply getting to understand that I provide, I protect, I guide, and bring identity. I guide you into who you are, and I deliver identity. Okay? That is exactly what I'm bringing to you. I deliver identity. That is who a father is. So today, we think a father is about somebody who's able to produce, bring forth children. You find a girl, sleep with her, she conceives, and then, whoo, a child came and you say, whoo, I'm a daddy. And you walk on, find another one, sleep with her, bring forth, ooh, I'm a daddy. Find another one, sleep with her, bring forth, ooh, I'm a daddy. No, you're just being a fool. Okay? You're just being a fool, because when you bring forth and you cannot sustain what you bring forth, you are not a father. You are abusing the role, the position of a father. And many of you will say, well, fatherhood is so hard. It's hard to maintain it. I cannot be. I mean, what do you want me to do? Well, you stop complaining. Isn't it amazing that in everything we do, especially when it comes to graduation, when children achieve, they have ended up talking about their mothers. I thank God for my mother. I thank God for my mother. I thank God for my mother. And when you celebrate Mother's Day, there is more hype at everything when you're celebrating Mother's Day, unlike when you're celebrating Father's Day. And now, because of the hype that is there, people are thinking, well, these women, the feminists, are trying to destroy the men, okay? Feminists can do their agenda of destroying manhood, but they're just weak people, okay? They don't know what to do. They're just flimsy, ignorant people. Yeah, they don't know what to do. But no matter what a feminist does, it does not stop me from being a father. Because being a father is by choice. Being a male is by birth. Being a father is by choice. I want you to understand. Being a male is by birth. Being a father is by choice. Oh, the women are coming against us. Everybody's supporting the women. That's why we as men are failing. That's why you never hear the children talk about us. Sounds good. Sounds very justifying. But I want to bring some understanding to you that it does not matter what happens or what women do or not do. Father, you are the source. And do you know, because we're still defining fatherhood, do you know who, now you know who a father is. It's about function. It's not a title. Father is not a title. It's function. And for every male, the first father you are, every husband, the first father or the first person you father is not your children. As a male, the first person you father is your wife, the one you choose to marry. You make sure, because she came out of you. The Bible says she was pulled out of the side. She's your rib. She came out of you. And who's a father? The one who's able to bring forth and sustain what they've been able to bring forth. How do they sustain it? By provision, protection, guidance, and given identity. When God brought the woman to Adam, God just presented the woman and said, here. And Adam said, okay, you are bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. You shall be called woman because you were taken out of me. So Adam gave the identity. Adam provided the atmosphere, the welcome, and was able to guide her on how to do, on how to live in the garden. Okay? Now, this is what I bring to you. When you find a woman, don't first look at her and think of the bed. I know that's what many of the men do. You look at a woman, you're like, ooh, Jesus. Oh, yeah, I can see. You see yourself everywhere. You see her naked. You see all this stuff. But I want to tell you something. You're losing. First, see her as your babe. That's why we call them babe. I brought her forth. She's my babe. So she's my first babe. I brought her forth. And because I brought her forth and she's my first babe, what am I supposed to do? I am supposed to provide for her, protect her, guide her, and identify her as my equal, bone of my bones. That's who a father is, gives you the identity. And many of you, you've brought forth children and you want to do one thing. I just give you money. I pay your tuition. You do what? You pay tuition. Yes, I pay the tuition. I buy clothes. I buy everything. I'm a father. No, you're still falling short. You still love the title of achievement, but you don't want to do the process. So the process is what I've been talking about. I am being a father, and this is how you'll come out to be a father, okay? This is what you need to understand. You will never father your children very well until you can father their mother. I'm a married man, 20 years down the road. I'm a great father. I took responsibility. I've accepted it. I am a great father. And this is what I bring to you. I got to learn that the first person I need to love are not the children, but their mother. If I can father their mother by giving, because of love, I provide, protect, guide, identify that she's my equal, then I'm going to succeed. Let me make this so clear to you. Now that we've defined fatherhood, there's something deeper. Many have been celebrated. I was celebrated. But there's something more. As a father, you are a foundation. As a father, everything starts with you. The family is not built upon two people, husband and wife. No, the family is built on one person, the man. You're the foundation. Okay? What is a foundation? Foundation is a fundamental principle upon which something operates or something functions from. So the family is supposed to function from the husband, the man. You're the foundation. You're the origin. You're the head as the source, not the head as the boss. You're the head as the source. So that's how you function as a man. You're supposed to be the base. You don't say, no, I'm supposed to be the base together with my wife. No, you're the base. Even the woman builds on you and the children all build on you. Everything comes on you. Everything gets stuck on you. You are down upholding the entire building. You are the foundation. So many of you not even knowing that you are the foundation, that's why you're whining. Oh, nobody ever recognized me. Is it worth recognizing you as a father? Is it worth recognizing you as a father? That's the first question I'm bringing in. Is it worth recognizing you as a father? Absolutely. You give honor to where honor is due. Okay? That's what scripture tells us. You give honor to where honor is due. Is it worth? I'll tell you something. Very much so. So we can't just ignore Father's Day. But Father's Day is meant for those that function as fathers, not for those that just parade themselves as so. But those that function as fathers, not parading yourself as a father. What do I mean? You love the title, you enjoy the title, but you don't enjoy the responsibility. I'll tell you the reality. It's about the responsibility, okay? Where you know I'm the foundation. I lay the foundation. I train my children what to do, where to go, who they are. Because I'll tell you something. If you don't know who you are, you cannot be able to function the way you were created to be. You're going to become something you are not because you don't know who you are. So you're going to be whatever people tell you you are. And that is where the error comes in. And this is where chaos has come in. Do you realize that today, over 50, I believe by now it's about 70% of children are being raised without fathers. Yeah, about 70% are being raised without fathers. You don't know the role. I'll tell you something. When you love a woman as a man, when you love a woman, you're choosing to be a father. And there's one factor or one thing about fathers, they never leave. If you're watching me and you have left and you have abandoned, I'll tell you something. That's failing fatherhood. Fathers never leave. They never abandon their family because it's like you saying the foundations can be removed. If foundations are removed, the entire structure will collapse. Fathers are foundations. They are never to be removed. They never leave. They never say, I'm tired of this structure. I want to go down. I'm tired of this structure. I want to move to a better place. There's a lot of cold under here as a foundation. I want to move. Fathers never leave. If you're a father and you're watching me and you're wondering why your children never sent wishes on Father's Day, yet you have been there. You brought them in this world. Nobody could ever have done that. Bringing them into the world is not enough. Sustaining them is the next thing. Bringing children in the world is not enough. Sustaining them is where you fulfill fatherhood. What does that mean? You help a child discover who they are. You help a child understand who they are. You guide them. You're given identity, okay? And the best identity begins with example. People want to imitate something they see. And that's how we created as children. I mean, we want to imitate whatever we see. I remember as a young boy in our early 80s and whatever, I was just jumping to Michael Jackson. Yeah, because everybody wanted to be like Michael Jackson. They wanted to imitate. Others even called themselves Michael Jackson. And those were the days. Okay, what is happening? I want to be something that is bigger than me, that is great, that is admirable. Now, a father, you got to be something that is admirable, that is bigger than your kids, that they can admire and want to be like you. That is you being a father. You're providing identity. You're providing guidance. The world is this. This is how you ought to be. This is what you ought to do. This is how you're going to go. Okay? You're providing guidance. This is how you're going to live your life. You tell them what life is. But remember, you can never function to that fullness until you connect with God, because He's the origin. And I've made sure that I make that very perfect to you. So when I'm teaching, when I'm bringing this out, I want you to know, I am a father. Am I sustaining what I brought forth? Giving school fees is not enough. Giving school fees is not enough. Am I sustaining what I brought forth? Providing food is not enough. Being there to even offer emotional support is your role as a father. Where you can play with your kids, play with your wife. Your fatherhood is not just about the kids. You're the origin, you're the source, you're the foundation. And you need to bring it forth. You're the origin, you're the source, you're the foundation. You supply, you provide, you guide, you give identity. When I named my child Rod, that's it. My entire family is not called the family of Rod and Robbie. No, it's the family of Rod. I am the foundation. All my children carry my name. I am the source. I am the provider. But some of you simply say, I'll give you a name. And kids are even afraid to use your name because they think, oh my goodness, this guy is horrible. This guy is terrible. He abandoned us. And then when their mother is there, they would rather fall on the mother's side and get into that confusion simply because you've not been functioning as a father. Because fatherhood is not about title. It's about function. Okay? Let me give you this one verse. It will really help you understand. As a father, there are only two things you need to understand. You're either a father or you're a child. Okay? You're either a father or you're a child. The Bible says in 1 Corinthians chapter 13, I believe it's about verse 11 there. And he says, when I was a child, I thought like a child. I spoke like a child. I understood like a child. But when I became a man, what is that? Becoming a man means growing in love, maturing and exhibiting love. That means real manhood is about love. Real manhood is about love and not muscle. Muscle is very good, okay? Money is very good, but love. If you don't know what love is, you will fail and abandon your family. You will walk away from your family. You will cheat on your wife. You will abandon your children. You will tell lies. You will speak everything negative. You will buy clothes. You may have a lot of money, and then you believe I can have 10 women, but that is evidence you don't have love. You're still a child. I know some of you can be offended at this, but this is the truth. You're still a child. Because 1 Corinthians 13 is talking about love. And if you want to understand love, go read that chapter. And it's in that chapter where they tell you, you're either a child. That means, why a child? Because the number one characteristic of a child is self-centeredness. I think about me, myself, and I. That's a child. When I become a man, I stop thinking about me, myself, and I. I begin thinking about my wife, my God first, my wife, my children, how to take care of them, not to abandon them, not to walk away from them. That means I become a man. That means I'm a father. A real father exhibits love, demonstrates love. The children are supposed to learn love from you as a father, and they affect the entire environment or society that they live in. So the reason we have many of the children on streets, crime, violence, everything going on, is because we have men or children that slept with women and brought forth children. And what they brought forth, because these children never had love, and because they never had love, guess what? They brought forth children. And children think about themselves. They don't care about anybody. That's why they walk on the street and kick you in the face. They walk on the street and hit your head. They don't care about anybody. They want to survive at your expense. Those are children. They don't know love. But why? Because the people that brought them forth didn't know love, and that's how it came to be. So I want to make this so clear to you. I want to make this so perfect for you. Whatever it takes, when you are going to be a father, you get to understand it's a responsibility. It's a responsibility. I choose to be a father. I choose to be a man. That means I put childish ways behind. I stop coming home late. I stop hanging around with the boys. Boys, boys, boys. It's so good. I need to grow and realize I have responsibility. These kids need to do homework. These kids need my time. No matter how much I work, it's only in your children that you will have a legacy. In your children, in your posterity, they will carry it on. And you need to understand it as a father. With us being absent, I'm telling you, it shows we have become children and we are looking for somebody to take care of us. And this is where we've gone wrong. I need somebody to take care of me. You're whining. And this is how it started with you. You are whining. Nobody sent me any wishes. Nobody gave me any wishes whatsoever. Nobody gave me any Father's Day wishes. But you don't know how I struggle. I really go through a lot. I sweat every day and every night. I go through a lot. I am sweating every day and every night. But you never recognize me and say, thank you, Daddy. Is it worth being recognized? Yes, it is very much worth and worthy to be recognized. However, now that you've not been recognized, what do? Well, I've not been recognized. I'm throwing tantrums. I'm not going to provide for this home again. Never going to give my children anything again because they never recognized me as a father. Well, that is called self-pity. That is called a tantrum. That is what kids do. That means you're resorting to be a child instead of being a man. So you're turning to something called self-pity. Self-pity. So what are you doing? You're like, oh my goodness, I am all alone. I don't know. Nobody cares for me because I am a father. You feel justified to feel sorry for yourself because you feel you've been treated unfairly. You expected everybody to bring in flowers, bring in a vehicle, and just say, oh, the father has come. Happy Father's Day. He has come. Happy Father's Day. And nobody showed up. And your wife didn't even say it. You've never been a father to her. Guess what? When she has any challenges, you call her Annie. When she has any challenges, you say, I'm going to send you back to your parents. That's what children do, but you're supposed to be a man. You're supposed to be a father. But you keep saying, I'm going to send her back to her parents. Send her back to her parents? Are you being honest? Are you being real? Yeah, sending her back to her parents because I'm a man. No, you're being a child. I'll tell you this. In God's system, because it's the origin of fatherhood, he does not have, in his mind, he doesn't have child, adolescent, and adult, or child, adolescent, and man. No, he has child and man. And what separates you from being a child is self-centeredness. I mean, it's love. Love stops you from being a child. Love stops you from being a child. It helps you put childish ways behind you. And I want to take a little break, and I'll be back to prove to you whether you really deserve or deserve not to cry because you never received Father's Day wishes.
Unlocking marital bliss. Unlocking marital bliss.
We'll be back. You're still watching Unlocking Marital Bliss with me, Cyrus Rod, and we are still here at the beautiful Fairway Hotel, Boutique Hotel, Fairway Boutique Hotel. So amazing. So I'm glad that you're still tuned in to Unlocking Marital Bliss. And before we took a break, I just assured you that I'm back to prove to you, whether to really prove to you that actually you don't need to whine. That's the way I can say it. You don't need to whine. But before I proceed, I want to hear from you. What do you have to say? What do you have to say? Who is a father? I've been explaining that, and I still ask, is fatherhood something to be celebrated? Can we celebrate Father's Day at such a time as this? Let me hear from you, and I'll be back in a minute.
Unlocking marital bliss.
It still makes sense to celebrate Father's Day. I think in that way they will feel appreciated by the family. However, it usually goes unnoticed. For example, the recent Father's Day, most of us forgot about it and maybe it was underrated by most people.
It doesn't make sense celebrating Father's Day in this generation. The fact being that men have left out their role of providing, protecting, and even participating in the growth and upbringing of their children.
I'm sorry to say, but most of them have become really useless these days. You find a man, a young man in the street, you have all the energy, but you're begging on the streets. You're very young, you have every energy to do anything, but you choose to what? To beg on the streets. And you're a father to someone.
A father is very important. You see, you find most of the homes without fathers, they have really not survived the way they were supposed to survive. When a home has a father, and in fact, a happy home must be having a father. That's why you find the Banamwandus, they don't really live a very happy family. A happy family should be having a father and a mother. That's when the children can enjoy.
Well, the time is right for the man to feel unappreciated. It's time for them to come up and they also speak for themselves. Men and women are all human. So we should look at it that way. And if we are to have a good society, if we are to enjoy living, we need to take care of both.
It's high time they realized their state and accept transition to becoming men. And you only become a man by your responsibilities.
They should at least seek God first. And in that process, the church, the reverends that do, they should do their work. These days, at least they have not done it. The church should come in and talk to men.
Provide for your children, have one wife, not many wives. Love her fully, and at the end of the day, the wife will love you fully and you produce children, enjoy life together.
Our fathers out there, thank you so much for the hard work for everything. You're providing us everything, especially to my dad, Mr. Sabit Enoch in Mbarara. I thank you so much. God bless you and God bless all the fathers out there.
I wish my father a happy Father's Day. Mr. Tudiamudeva Thomas is my dad, and I think he's the best dad in the whole world.
I just want to say I love my father so much because he has done for me a lot.
All the men who have taken care of me in absence of my father, happy Father's Day.
Unlocking marital bliss.
All right, we'll be back. I've listened to you guys and what your opinions are. But let me tell you something. Marriage or life or being a father is complicated, okay? Because you're ignorant of principles. That's why I usually say it. It's our slogan over here at Unlocking Marital Bliss that marriage is easy, ignorance is hard. So when you don't know principles upon which something operates, you think it's very complicated. I've had many of you, even seen it everywhere where people say, well, relationship, complicated. Fatherhood, complicated. Being a mother, complicated. Marriage, complicated. Let me make it so clear to you. It's not complicated. You just do not know the principles upon which fatherhood operates. You just don't know. I'm here to tell you the principles upon which fatherhood operates. And I'm being honest with you and being straight with you. I've made it clear. You are the foundation. You must connect with the origin, who is God. That's the source of fatherhood. Being a father means you're the source. Being a father means you're the foundation. Being a father means you're the origin. Where do you get that from? From the source, who is God, who is the origin. He's a giver of life. So when you're a father, you're a life giver. When you're a father, you provide life. You provide life. You provide nutrition. You provide everything. That's what it means to be the head. Many of you think being the head means to be the boss. That's dictionary. But I'm telling you, in real life, being the head means being the source, the origin, being the father. Okay? Being the father. And what do? You're supposed to provide, bring forth, and then sustain that which you have brought forth. Very simple. Sustain that which you have brought forth. Now the question is that nobody realizes and recognizes what I go through. I go through a lot of stuff to be a father, to bring food to the table. But then my wife never recognizes. My wife, nobody ever brought wishes or Father's Day wishes to me. They never even gave me a card. Nobody ever did that to me. I'll tell you something. Yes, you feel justified to do that, to complain. But the reason you're complaining is because you think you've been treated unfairly. The whole house had to stand still because you're a father. The question is, are you really functioning as one? Self-pity is one of the things that has destroyed you and destroyed fatherhood. In fact, today when you look around, you hear there is such a trend where everybody wants to feel sorry for the man. I want to feel sorry for the man. Oh, they've got to understand. Everybody teaches the girls, but nobody teaches me as a boy. Everybody deals with the girls, but nobody deals with me as a boy. As a boy, I also need somebody to teach me, to tell me what to do. Let me be honest with you. You ever seen a foundation crying that it's not being recognized? I'm not saying you shouldn't celebrate fatherhood, but when you begin whining because nobody celebrated you, it's evidence that you've turned selfish, because whining and tantrums belong to kids. When a kid does not have his or her way, he whines, he throws tantrums, he goes in self-pity, wraps himself around and wants to be alone and goes in silent treatment. Are you really a father? You're just being a kid. You're going in silent treatment. Oh, nobody cared for me. Even my wife didn't say Happy Father's Day. If you function as a father and nobody ever recognized that, then keep functioning as a father. Children quit easily simply because they're not recognized. You don't function as a father in order to be recognized. You function as a father because that's who you were created to be. I know many of you are saying, okay, I am a father and I need to function as one, but I need to be recognized. If I'm not recognized, I'll grow weary. Let me tell you, how many times do we recognize the foundation? We come and say, let's dig up and see, oh, dear foundation, you're so amazing. Dear foundation, you're the best. Dear foundation. Those are just tantrums. I mean, a father, look, God is God. Whether the world recognizes him or not, he will still release the sun every morning and he will bring the moon every night. He will still bring the rain every morning and he will still bring good weather. He will still bring the winter. He'll still bring the summer. He'll still bring the spring. He will cause the food to grow even when you don't recognize him. Why? That's who fathers are. Fathers will still function whether they're recognized or not. The problem we have is that we are in a generation that is fueling nothing but self-pity, because it's a generation full of selfishness. And that is why, because of selfishness, you're able to rise up every moment and begin whining. Nobody recognizes me. In fact, many of you, you're at home. You're watching, and you probably lost your employment. And what do? You wake up in the morning and cover yourselves in those sheets, and you just stay there. And your wife goes to try to do something. When she tells you, hey, get out of those shits, try to go out and do something. Leave me alone, leave me alone. And you still call yourself a man? You still call yourself a man? You're being a child. Leave me alone, leave me alone, leave me alone. Remember the way you used to behave when you were a little boy. You're still behaving when you're 30, when you're 28, when you're 40. Oh, I'm 40, I'm a man. No, you see, manhood doesn't come by age. Manhood comes by accepting responsibility. So if you have to go and do an Uber to bring something home, go and do it. And the first thing you need to do, because manhood is real love, okay? So the first thing you provide is love. When you provide love, then you can provide the physical things. That's why fatherhood begins with how you love your woman. When she brings forth children, when she gets children, this is what I tell people. When your wife gets children, get her. The moment she starts getting children, start getting her. You're the foundation. Bring her closer. Bring the children close to. Bring her. As she gets the children, she will deliver them to you. As you bring her closer, she will bring the children to you. And it will all work out so good. The moment you don't do that, she will just push them to you. And you will hate them. Because you don't have love for you. You see, the only reason I can love you is because I love me. How do I love me? I love me because I am loved by God. I discovered what love is. That's why I can love me. I discovered what love is. That's why I can love me. And that brings me to love you. You see that? That brings me to love you. And that's the role of a father. I'm manifesting love, no matter what it takes. I can't keep coiling myself in the bed because I lost a job and begin whining. Self-pity. Self-pity is killing man. And we have a generation of women that is coming in and grooming men to feel sorry for themselves. I'll tell you something. Feeling sorry for yourself is a sin. Oh, no, it can't be. I just said it. Let me be clear. Feeling sorry for yourself is a sin as a man. Yes, because I'm talking to the man. When you feel sorry for yourself, it's a sin. Why? Because you think what has happened to you, you're the first to experience it and you're the last. And that's where self-pity begins from. Your mind tells you you're the first to be ignored. And this stops with you. It will never happen to any other man. So you better feel sorry. You're justified when you start silent treatment. You're justified when you walk away from the home because they never recognize you as a king. You're justified. No. God is never recognized as a king by billions of people. But have you ever seen him walk away from us? He still loves us. He's still God. He never walks away from his responsibility. You're a father and you're feeling sorry for yourself and you're whining, you're filing in for divorce, you're walking away. Why in the world are you doing that? It doesn't matter what she has done. Don't feel sorry for yourself. When you feel sorry for yourself, this is what is going to happen. You're going to get in trouble. Yeah, you're going to destroy yourself because you lose the morale, you lose the motivation, you begin a downward spiral that destroys you. And in doing that, you go to drugs, you turn to lose sex, having sex everywhere because you're feeling sorry for yourself and you want somebody to recognize you. You go to the office and you meet some secretary, some gal at the office who seduces you and says you're so amazing, and you think they're giving you attention because you never got the attention from home. Now you're seeking attention from some loose girls, and now you say, now I feel better because I'm a man. No, you're not feeling better because you're a man. You're feeling better because you've been duped. You've been deceived. I'll say this to you. You've been deceived as a man, and I want you to understand. Feeling sorry for yourself. You're not the first and you're not the last. How about you just begin reaching out to the woman and say, you're so amazing. Actually, I may have celebrated your Mother's Day and you never celebrated my Father's Day, but I still love you. You're my wife. I'll take care of you. I'll be there for you. Why? Because you know who you are. So what people do don't determine who you are. You know who you are. You're a father. You're the foundation. You're everything. You can't abandon. Foundations never walk away. They never. Some of your fathers that are supposed to be fathers, you've had your children, you got married to this girl, you had a child, and now you say, I can't keep up with her. We're going to do what is called co-parenting. I've told you that stuff is human wisdom. According to God, he never designed co-parenting. He designed you, the father, to be the foundation and to always stay. Imagine a foundation that stays in Kololo and then moves to Muyanga and then moves to Ntinda and then moves to Entebbe. That ain't a foundation. That's a hoax. It's not a foundation. Kololo, Muyanga, Ntinda, Entebbe. I'm a foundation. I'm a foundation. Nobody's going to stick with you. Who are you guiding? How are you guiding? You have to stay and endure the hard moments. Because as a man, that's why they built us to be hard. You know, if you hold a woman's hands and you give them a handshake, you realize how soft and tender it is. And when she shakes your hand, she realizes how tough and hard your fingers are. Why? We were made to endure the hard times. We were made to man it. That's why we were made from the ground, and the woman wasn't made from the ground. She was made from the finished product. She's so tender. She needs for you to come and be there and man it up for them. That is it. Stay as a man. Be the man. What do I mean? Be the one who gives the love. That's why man up means giving love. Because I showed you 1 Corinthians 13, it declared, when I was a child, I thought like a child. When I became a man, he's talking about love. That means when I understood love, I put childish ways behind me. What are childish ways? Selfish ways. So I want to ask you as a father, what are the selfish ways you are operating in? The selfish ways that you can bring forth. All I think about is me, myself, and I. You easily quit. You easily want to run away. You easily want to walk away. You abuse. You yell. Those are childish ways. Those are tantrums. And we think, oh, the man needs to come back home. He's very tired. Oh, he's so tired. The day was so hard. So please make sure you kick off his shoes. Make sure you help him. No children playing around or screaming in the living room because the man has come back home. That's how I grew up. We lived in a family. When Papa showed up, everybody took off. And nobody makes noise. Now, you see, children are messy. Children are messy. We make noise. When a child is a child, they will scream, they will play, they will do everything. But imagine growing up and your father is able to simply say, get out of here, get out of here. I mean, only to bark. And that's all you're used to. No, you don't know. So you believe the whole world is so threatening. And then you never discover who you were. You never find out who you were. You grow up with fear. You lack confidence because your own father, your source, who's supposed to give you the confidence, supply the guidance, has not been there. What do? He has not been there. You end up totally broken, and you end up bringing forth broken people because you are broken. People who don't know love. Kids that will end up, you're also surviving because your father used to bark, you also begin barking. Bogala, call. And you say, I am a man. No. I want to say this to you. You feel justified to cry that nobody recognized you as a father. Before you cry, let's be honest. Have you functioned as a father? Because I've been teaching you who a father is. Have you functioned as a father? Or you're simply functioning on title? I'm a father, I'm a father. And I want to make this clear to you. If all you think about is, I'm a father, you love the title, but you don't love the work. Therefore, stop whining. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. You're not even justified. I want to tell you this. It's a very tough world, okay? It's a tough world. So much is going on. And you don't need to put a helmet on. You need to persevere as a man. It's a tough world. Get up, go and work. I remember one day, my mother died, and I never saw her. My mother died. I never saw her. Grew up without her. Thank God for photography. That's when I can be able to say, this is how my mother looked like. But I never experienced her because I was so little when she died. Now, one day, my father was hardly there. Never functioned the way fathers should, like many of you. And ended up with different women here and there, everywhere. But one day, when I went to church wasn't easy either. Rejected, abandoned, isolated, calling your names. And I went through all that. I felt bad, even in church. So one day I cried. Have you ever cried yourself to sleep when you're feeling sorry for yourself? I cried and cried and cried. And I don't know how I slept, but I woke up and I was on top of my bed. And you know what I was crying? I was crying, praying, God, give me a father. Give me a father. I was in self-pity. When I woke up, I prayed again. Oh, I remember, God, give me a father, give me a father. And he said, go and be one. I said, what? I go and be one? Hey, I need a father. What about me? I need a father. I was just like many of you men out there, feeling sorry for yourself and looking for somebody to be there for you and just part your back. I'll tell you something. God said, you're being selfish. I say, what? I stood up and I accepted my responsibility. I had to man it up. Life was so hard. I literally had one underwear. I literally had shoes with holes, but I had to man it up and choose to love and not choose to be bitter. There are many men out there because of what has happened to you. They never recognized you. You're bitter. You're full of bitterness and unforgiveness, and you're full of self-pity. Your heart has hardened. Love is not there anymore. You've said, those are not even my children because they never recognized me. I want to tell you something. They should not determine how you behave. Be a man, be a lover. Being a man means being a lover. And I want to say this to you. When you're a lover, you forgive. Forgive. No matter how much your wife has hurt you, you forgive. Because you're not keeping. You're not a child to keep grudges. You're not a child to keep This self-centeredness, you're a lover. You give love. Okay? God told me, go and be a father. I chose to be a father. Since then, I've never looked back. I overcome self-pity. And I want to tell you this. Men do not need a shoulder to cry on. No. I know this is what you've been told. You need a shoulder to cry on. Even men need a shoulder to cry on because it's too much. They go through so much. When he comes back home, put him around your chest and tell him, come here, baby. Come here, baby. Ooh, try to make sure you comfort him. Ooh, yeah, come here, baby. No. You woman, I rebuke you. You don't have, you're not helping that man. You're destroying him. Men don't need shoulders to cry on. Can men cry? Yes. Do they need a shoulder to cry on? No. Let me say it again. Even in this. Can men cry? Yes. Are they supposed to cry? Yes. Do they need a shoulder to cry on? No. Men need someone to stand alongside them, not someone not a shoulder to cry on. When God created Adam, he gave him a woman to stand alongside him, not a shoulder to cry on. Feeling sorry. Oh, Jesus wept. Exactly. He never needed a shoulder to cry on. I want you to understand, he never needed a shoulder to cry on. That's why he prayed and he said, hey, come y'all and pray with me. People to stand alongside me, okay? Because most of the tears we men are coming up with and whining that we were never recognized are nothing but self-centeredness. All we think about is me, myself, and I, and they never recognize me. No, if you don't recognize me, it's all right. It's all right. I have God to stand by me. You need someone to stand by you. When you read the Bible, 1 Kings chapter 30, the entire city of Ziklag was attacked and destroyed. And they took all women and children away. When they carried all the women and children and the men came back, this was a group of men because they'd taken all the wives, the women, and the children. And now the men came to the city that was led by David, the king. And when they came, they cried. They cried. Why? They had totally taken their families away and everything. And when they cried, guess what? After crying, they wanted to stone their king, David. You see, when men cry, at the end of the day, with his selfishness, out of self-pity, I lost everything, nobody knows my losses. From there, they want to do stupid stuff. They want to kill, they want to murder. They want to do things that are totally awful. Why? Because they cried out of selfishness. They didn't cry because they felt sorry for somebody, because they felt pity for somebody. Jesus cried because he felt sorry for you, for those that never had faith. This is what happened. Real quick, David turned around and they wanted to stone him. He had also been crying. When he realized they wanted to stone him, he stood up. And he encouraged himself in the Lord. He never said, give me a shoulder to cry on. He simply encouraged himself in the Lord. And when he did that, when he encouraged himself in the Lord, he was able to get up. He was motivated. And he said, I'm going to save this city. I'm going to go and recover everything that was stolen. In other words, when you feel sorry for yourself, you destroy your motivation. But when you know that God is alongside me, I can make it again. I can have another chance. You will never remain the same. You will see that you actually have made it. David went, recovered everything, brought everything in. Man, you don't need a shoulder to cry on. Father, you don't need a shoulder to cry on. Just get up. Nobody's going to pat you on your back. Be a man. Get up. I repeat, get up, man, up right now. That is what it means if you choose to be a father. And a man means being a lover. Thank you for watching. Cyrus Road is my name. This is Unlocking Marital Bliss. And never forget, marriage is easy, ignorance is hard.
Unlocking marital bliss.